want your PF snare to go from and to. Do you want the? On a difficulty level, this snare would be, so if the PF snare is like 1 out of 10 and the is like 2 out of 10, I'd say this snare is around 3 out of 10. This snare is very easy, but first, yeah, let me give you the context why I went from into. And by the way, if you're wondering, why are you just dripped out? This is my video, my tutorial. I didn't force you to click on this. I'm wearing what I want, dude. The context to why I came up with this snare is because of my insecurities. As you can see, I have a gap tooth. I was getting worried that doing the PF snare for a lot of times would increase the distance of my gap. And so I came up with a different snare. Transfer the pressure from the PF snare so that it's less taxing through the middle of my teeth. So to get my snare, we start from to. So that snare, there's already a tutorial for it, a good one by Pash. I'll link it in the description. You can go check that out. But long story TLDR, it's just PF, a higher pitched PF with PF SH. My snare. How do you do my snare? How do you go from into? So it's really a more advanced, basically, a more resonant. How is the PF snare becoming more resonant? With here, right? So when you do a PF, this is where the pressure comes out. Right? It's very tiny. There's not a lot of space that requires for that PF snare. For my snare, it's more like. Try and do this snare. A lot of old school beatboxers do that snare. And then from the, you go do a PF snare instead. Right? So instead of going, we now have a more wider of a snare from the, right? We use more of our lips to create the sound instead of the PF snare. We use like this for the, you use more like this amount of space, right? Right around this much space. Alright, and there you go. I would like to also mention if you can change your sh, so from the to a or you get a thicker, nicer sounding snare than a which sounds kind of tight and thin. If you want a better version of that, try and do the PF SH snare instead, because then you have it more punchier, more resonant, and more powerful. Instead of you get. And then you can just pitch your snare. Or you can also vocalize it. Same way as you do. Or you just go. And then there you go. 3 out of 10. Easy. Anyone can do this. Even a baby could do that snare. Even a sperm cell could do that snare. Very easy. So there you go, folks. That's how you do that snare.